Discussion po tayo, ano po, no? Ito ho'y patungkol pa rin sa kaso ho ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, mga kabida, kung saan po ay siya po ay inaresto po kahapon sa bisa po ng warrant of arrest na inilabas ng International Criminal Court, ano po. Meron pong magandang legal discussion po, no? Ito hong si Attorney Neil Abayon po, mga kabida, dito ho sa kasong kinakaharap po ngayon ni Digong, ano po, no? Kung ano po ang pwede hong mangyari sa kaso po niya. Meron po ba siyang depensa ho dito, ano? At ano pong pwede niyang gawin para questionin po itong admission po ng kanyang kasong crime against humanity na isinampa po, mga kabida, against sa dating Pangulo po ng Pilipinas, ano? At ano po yung mga batas dito sa Pilipinas at sa ating saligang batas ang violate po, no? Nang arestuhin po itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at itry po, mga kabida, dyan ho sa International Criminal Court. Pakinggan po natin ito hong magandang legal discussion po, mga kabida, ni Attorney Neil Abayon.
So ngayon po, explain ko muna sa inyo yung mga nakita ko dun sa warrant of arrest, okay? So under the warrant of arrest po from the ICC, specifically page 3, may kita po ninyo under procedural history, nakalagay po dyan, on 19 April 2021, the presidency assigned the situation in the Republic of the Philippines to the Chamber. Tapos sa number 2, nakalagay po dyan, on 15 September 2021, the Chamber authorized the commencement of an investigation into the situation in the Philippines, okay? So again, take note po, April 2021 po nag-start yung mga proceedings sa ICC regarding the situation po in the Philippines involving former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Tapos kung makikita nyo rin po dito, nilagay po nila is that in relation to crimes within the jurisdiction of the court committed in the territory of the Philippines between 1 November 2011 and 16 March 2019. Take note po, yung date po na 16 March 2019 is very important po kasi ito yung date kung saan nag-take effect na yung withdrawal po ng Philippines dun sa International Criminal Court. Okay? So kung makikita po natin, nag-withdraw tayo March 16, 2019, tapos nag-start po yung mga investigation and proceedings sa ICC on 19 April 2021, 2 years po after the withdrawal po natin, okay? So yung mga dates po na binanggit ko, yun yung nakalagay sa warrant mismo. Tapos kung pumunta rin po kayo sa ICC website, under po dun sa investigation ng Republic of the Philippines, pag tingnan po ninyo yung court records doon, pumunta po kayo sa last page, 2021 din po yung date na nag-start yung mga proceedings or yung mga matters po involving the situation in the Republic of the Philippines, okay? And those dates po are very crucial, very important, considering po under Article 127 of the Rome Statute po, ito po yung provision regarding the withdrawal of state parties from the Rome Statute, okay? So dito po makikita natin as state, its withdrawal shall not affect any cooperation with the court in connection with criminal investigations and proceedings in relation to which the withdrawing state had a duty to cooperate. Tas ito pong next sentence yung important po talaga because ang sabi po dito, and which were commenced prior to the date on which the withdrawal became effective, okay? So ang ibig sabihin po niyan, yung ICC po merong jurisdiction over investigation and proceedings na na-commence na po prior to the withdrawal of a state. Diba? So makikita po natin, nag-withdraw po tayo, formally po nag-withdraw tayo on March 2019 po, pero yung investigation and proceedings sa ICC only started in April 2021. So dito po naka-withdraw na tayo prior to the start of the investigation and the proceedings sa ICC. Therefore, pag ganyan po, wala nang jurisdiction supposedly yung ICC kasi considering under their provision nga po which were commenced prior to the date on which the withdrawal became effective, diba? So again, ulitin ko po, yung mga investigations and proceedings that were already commenced prior to the withdrawal, yun lang po yung may jurisdiction over yung ICC. However, in this situation po, in the case of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, we withdrew on March 2019 pero yung investigation only started after the withdrawal on April 2021. Okay, so yan po yung pagkaintindi ko dito at yan po yung professional assessment ko of the case of FPRRD in relation dito sa Article 127 and the eventual issuance po of the arrest warrant against FPRRD. So ngayon punta naman po tayo sa preamble ng Rome Statute. Okay, so nakalagay po dito sa preamble, specifically paragraph 10, nakalagay dyan, emphasizing that the International Criminal Court established under this statute shall be complementary to national criminal jurisdictions. Okay, so take note po, ang nakalagay po sa preamble ng Rome Statute mismo is that the ICC shall be complementary only to national criminal jurisdictions, okay? After po niyan, ngayon punta naman po tayo sa Article 1 of the Rome Statute. So again, nakalagay po dito, the International Criminal Court shall be complementary to national criminal jurisdictions. So kung makikita po ninyo sa preamble at sa Article 1 pa lang ng Rome Statute, talagang ine-emphasize po nila na complementary lang po sila sa mga national criminal jurisdictions. Stated differently po, ibig sabihin po niyan, they will only complement and support the judicial systems po of mga member states sa Rome Statute, okay? And the reason kung bakit ina-explain ko po yan sa inyo, para po at least mag-gets nyo talaga at maintindihan nyo kung ano ba talaga yung basis and foundation po nitong International Criminal Court. So ngayon punta na po tayo sa next defense of FPRRD regarding naman po to sa admissibility of his case in the International Criminal Court, okay? So yung maging defense po dito is Article 17 of the Rome Statute, specifically the issues of admissibility. So makikita po nyo nakalagay talaga dito at in-emphasize Article 17 having regard to paragraph 10 of the preamble and Article 1. So yan po yung mga binasa ko kanina, di ba? Which emphasize that the ICC is only supplementary po to national criminal jurisdictions, okay? So ito pong issues of admissibility, ibig sabihin po nito, ito yung mga situation kung saan yung ICC po ay pwede hawakan yung mga certain cases or hindi nila pwede hawakan, okay? So dito po talagang importante sa Article 17 is paragraph 1 letter A of the Article 17. So dito po makita natin, a case is inadmissible, meaning hindi po pwede tanggapin or i-admit sa ICC yung kaso when the case is being investigated or prosecuted by a state which has jurisdiction unless the state is unwilling or unable genuinely to carry out the investigation or prosecution, okay? So kung sa Tagalog pa, ang sinasabi po dito is yung ICC po, ang isa pong kaso hindi pwede admit sa ICC kung ang isa pong bansa ay ini-investigate at prosecute na yung kasong yon at meron siyang jurisdiction talaga dun sa kasong yon, unless na lang po na yung bansang yon eh hindi nila ini-investigate or prosecute ng maayos yung kaso involved, okay? Ang next naman po is punta tayo sa paragraph 2 naman, okay? So nakalagay po dito, to determine the unwillingness, the court shall consider principles of due process recognized by international law, okay? Tas nagbigay po yan sila dito ng mga situations. So unang-una, the proceedings were or are being undertaken or the national decision was made for the purpose of shielding the person concerned from criminal responsibility for crimes, okay? Letter B po, nakalagay dyan, unjustified delay in the proceedings. Tapos sa letter C naman, nakalagay dyan, the proceedings were not or are not being conducted independently or impartially, okay? So yan po yung important provisions dito sa Article 17 na pwede pong gamiting defense ni FPRRD, okay? So explain ko po sa inyo ng maayos. Ito pong provision na to, Article 17, ang pinaka-essence po talaga nito is ina-explain po ng Rome Statute na kung ano yung mga cases na hindi pwede i-admit or tanggapin ng ICC, okay? And under this provision po, kung makikita po ninyo, if you take into consideration all the provisions that I cited, ang pinaka-essence po talaga niyan is if ang isa pong judicial system, ang prosecutorial arm, investigatory arm of a state ay hindi ginagampanan ng maayos yung trabaho nila, dun lang po pwede i-admit ang isang kaso na nasa jurisdiction din ng ICC, okay? So ulitin ko po, pag ang judiciary po ng isang bansa ay hindi kaya maging impartial, hindi kaya mag-investigate ng maayos ng Department of Justice against an accused or halatang dinedelay talaga yung proceeding or halatang shinishield ang isang akusado sa isang krimen ng Department of Justice and or the judiciary, dun lang po pwede admit ang kaso na may jurisdiction din yung ICC, okay? Ngayon tingnan po natin kung ano na ba talaga yung current situation sa bansa po natin in relation po to FPRRD as a private citizen. Unang-una is the state currently unwilling or unable to investigate or prosecute FPRRD po ba? Ito po, based sa personal observations ko from the political happenings in our country, the news reports na nakikita po natin, hindi po unwilling and unable to investigate and or prosecute yung state or yung bansa po natin against FPRRD. Diba, kung makikita nga po natin, diba, ang dami pong cases filed against FPRRD at ang dami din pong legislative inquiries conducted against directly involving FPRRD and Vice President Sara Duterte. So dun po sa number 1 yung unwilling or unable, dun pa lang po medyo malabo na mapakita na unwilling or unable yung Department of Justice to investigate and or prosecute FPRRD, okay? So ngayon, ang next question naman po is whether or not the Department of Justice or the judiciary system natin are shielding FPRRD against the alleged crimes against him, diba? At yung sagot po dyan, again, personal observation ko po to, I don't think the Department of Justice, the Philippine National Police, or the judiciary is shielding FPRRD simply because, again, ulitin ko po, ang dami pong cases filed against them. So dun pa lang po may kita talaga natin na gusto talaga i-prosecute at investigate ng PNP, ng Department of Justice, si FPRRD. Okay? So yung next issue naman po natin is kung meron bang unjustified delay sa investigation or prosecution against FPRRD. Again, kung ako po tatanungin based on my personal observations, wala pong unjustified delay, di ba? Yung nag-joke nga lang po si FPRRD, bigla na siyang pinaimbestigahan agad eh. Therefore, makita natin again na there is a willingness po talaga to investigate and prosecute FPRRD, di ba? Kung meron mang delay so far against the cases filed against him, eh yung may trabaho po talaga niyan, yung Department of Justice to prosecute. So, nasa kanila po yung bola regarding that issue, okay? At yung last question